The most dangerous military bluff in human history just collapsed. For 4 years, Putin held the world hostage with one threat: touch Russia, and nuclear war begins. But on July 29, 2026, a Russian cruise missile exploded in Polish farmland, and NATO's response exposed something the Kremlin spent decades hiding. Russia can't fight NATO. Russia can barely fight Ukraine. For 4 years, one rule held the world together: touch NATO territory, and Russia's president promised consequences beyond imagination. On July 29, 2026, a Russian cruise missile crossed 40 kilometers into Poland and exploded in a quiet field near Tarnowa, Colonia. Fighter jets scrambled. NATO's Secretary General confirmed the violation. And then nothing. No missiles, no mobilization, no fire and fury. Just silence. This is not guaranteed proof of weakness. Reality is more complex than a single headline. But it is the first visible crack in a threat the world was told to fear for 4 years. Picture the map, a red line crossing a border that was supposed to be sacred. Now picture what it means when crossing it changes nothing. But that silence hides a darker question, one written in blood, and Russia may not like the answer. 17 times Russia's president drew a line in the sand. 17 times that line was crossed. No NATO weapons in Ukraine crossed. No long-range strikes on Russian soil crossed. No NATO jets in the sky crossed. No troops near the border crossed. Imagine a graveyard of broken promises, each tombstone a threat that meant nothing the moment it was tested. Consequences you have never encountered in your history, he warned in 2022. Then came the tanks, then the missiles, then silence again and again. 17 threats, 17 retreats. But bluffing has a cost, and that cost is written in the blood of an army that may no longer exist. A single soldier silhouette. Then a number, 1.4 million. That is Russia's estimated total casualties since 2022. More than 30,000 men lost every single month, a pace now outrunning recruitment itself. Here is the paradox. An army this large is still running out of people. Elite units gone in year 1. What remains is largely conscripts and penal battalion soldiers, in name only. These are estimates, not certainties. The fog of war blurs exact numbers, but the trend is undeniable. An army bleeding this fast needs one thing above all: supply. And Russia's supply line just walked into a trap. Putin called it an unsinkable aircraft carrier. Ukraine turned it into an isolated island. Dozens of Russian air defense batteries destroyed. Key supply bridges gone. Russian military bloggers themselves admit the highway to Crimea is now too dangerous to use. Picture a fortress with no gates left standing. Fuel runs short. Every convoy becomes a target. This is multi-domain warfare in real-time: drones over land and sea, choking a stronghold without ever storming its walls. Soldiers bleeding. Supplies cut. One resource remains, and it's disappearing faster than either. A budget deficit more than double last year's. 500,000 citizens bankrupt in a single year. Here's the real shock. It isn't outsiders sounding the alarm. It's Russia's own central bank, warning its president directly that this war is economically unsustainable. That's not propaganda. That's the accountants turning against the war. No soldiers to spare, no safe supply lines. Now, no money. Which raises one question. How did this collapse happen so quietly? Here's the paradox no one saw coming. NATO didn't defeat Russia with weapons. It defeated Russia with patience. Call it salami slicing tanks, then long-range missiles, then jets, then troops near the border, each step small enough to avoid triggering the nuclear response it was designed to provoke. 4 years of incremental moves, 4 years of empty threats in return. Now picture the final slice, a missile in Poland, and still silence. The largest nuclear arsenal on Earth has just been exposed as a bluff, with nothing left behind it. 3 paths remain. A desperate strike unlikely, since even Russia's allies have quietly drawn their own red line. A slow-managed retreat, the most probable outcome, as pressure from every direction converges. Or a negotiated ceasefire, still possible before year's end. On July 29th, a missile crossed 40 kilometers into Poland. In that distance, the world learned what it had suspected for 4 years. The bluff is over, and the silence tells you everything. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit subscribe. Tomorrow we bring you another breaking analysis. Do you think Russia ends this war or escalates it? Let us know in the comments.